Welcome to part 3 of restoring my Honda CRF 450. Today I'm going to be stripping and cleaning the carb. This is a job you're going to have to do if you've got a bike that's got a carb on it, it's been sat for a while. So the first job I'm doing is draining out all the old fuel. It's been in there for a couple of years, but I won't waste it, I'll chuck it in the generator. So I'm just stripping the bike down. As you can see, I've got to take the majority of the back end off, the exhaust, seat, subframe and the fuel tank, just to give me access to where the carb is and to the spark plug as well. I'm going to show you in a second how I lay all the parts out. It's good practice when you take them off to lay them all out in the order that you took them off the bike with the nuts and bolts that came from it. So when you come to put it back together, just pick each bit up and throw it back on the bike. So here's a little look in the engine. It's lovely polish and port in there. Love that every time I have the carb off this bike. Little tip there, when you're removing a plug, you can use a bit of rubber hose. It'll make it easier to get it out and in. So we've got a new plug to go in, we've got a new air screw which is red, so it's obviously going to be fast. We've got a new seal kit for it, some new screws and a new float valve. We've got some carb cleaner in there that we're going to use, and we've got an air blower. Now unfortunately I could only find this comically large one in the workshop, so we're going to have to use that and go with it. So I'm just stripping the carb down here. I'm going to take the float ball off first of all, take all the jets out, and I'll measure the float height while I'm there and just use that for reference when I come to put it all back together again later on. So I'm just using a vernier caliper there and checking the float height. Make sure when you're doing this you're doing it on a clean surface, because you don't want to be getting any shit inside your carburetor. So here I'm just using a strand off a wire brush to physically put through each jet, just to help clear off any of the tarnish that they get on there when they've been sat in for a long time. Fuel, when it's sat in there, tends to build up. It's like a powdery substance on the inside, so putting something through just helps to clear that off there. So there's all the jets cleaned up, and the float ball just sitting in a bit of carb cleaner. So just putting jets back in. Make sure you use a good screwdriver on them, because you don't want to round them off. So there's the old plug and the new one. We read the old one to tell us how it's been running, and then that'll help me with my carb settings when I build it back up again. So there's the plug going back in. Same technique with that little bit of rubber hose, just helps me get it started off and screwed in, and then I'll tighten it up later on. So when I was going through the parts before, there I've got a new choke plunger. It's needed one of them for 10 years, so that's a good job. And the carb's all built back up again now. Put a little bit of lock wire on that air screw just to give it a bit of resistance so it doesn't wind off or on when it's in use. So when I was checking the parts, I noticed I've got a crack in the exhaust there. So it obviously makes sense at this point to repair that while we're here. So I'm just going to put a bit of weld on that exhaust and get it sealed back up again. So join us in the next video where we will get the bike running. Thanks for watching. I can't wait to ride this bike, so join us for part 4 soon.